Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of HER Space Unscripted. As always, I'm your host, Angela Garcia. I am a mommy, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an advocate, but in all of those places, I show up as me, as a woman just navigating this thing we call life. And that's what this podcast is for. It's for women to come, share their stories, celebrate each other, share our struggles, and just be us. If that sounds like a place you want to be, you found your space. Come take up some space with me. As you can see, this isn't our normal studio. For the first time ever, we went mobile. I was so excited to have the opportunity to come to Karma Salon, where I get my hair did, because you know what? Anybody who knows anything about the barbershop, the salon, right? It's the 411. It's the place that got the chisme, got the gossip, it got it all. But to me, it's a whole lot deeper than that. Every time I get to come and get my hair done, I have some of the most amazing conversations with this group of women, and I wanted to share it with you. So, without further ado, I introduce the women of Karma. Hi, ladies. So they're a little nervous, you know, as we all would be. But I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and so we'll start over here with Miss Tristan.
Hi, I'm Tristan. I'm Angela's hairstylist, and I love her, which is why I'm here, even though I'm super nervous.
I'm Desiree.
Hi, I'm Yvette. I've been doing hair for 24 years. I own the place, sorry. Sorry.
You know what?
You're
sucking
on your
work. Good job.
Hi, I'm Renee. I've been doing hair for 22 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Like I said, I am just excited to be here because whenever we come, right, it's like always such a great conversation. Like, I always leave either inspired, motivated. Sometimes I just leave like, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, all right,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just a great space to be. And I think that's kind of seems like it is what it is, right? Like hair therapy, right? Because it's
Yes.
not just the chair. We got a sign over here. I don't know if you could see it, but she literally has it on the wall. Because that's what it is. And I was just so excited to have you guys here. But I would ask, like, when did you guys always know it was going to be like that? Or like, you know, did you know you were going to become everybody therapist? Or like,
No.
when did you know it was beyond the chair?
Honestly, I don't. Thought I got to play with hair as a high school student, and I thought I'm going to get to play. I didn't know I would get in depth with clients and personal lives and be their confidant, their friend, and almost like their family. It was kind of that add-on bonus of getting to do that.
It just happens. I think when you care about the person in your chair, you can't help it, and people share such intimate moments, and you're with people through marriages and divorces and children and deaths. And I think if you don't care about people, you shouldn't be behind the chair, because they're some of the most intense moments that people come here to get over and get ready for. And you know, it's an important space, and I don't know if we all knew that coming into it, but you can't help it once you're here.
Well, like, my longest relationship has been with Tristan, you know? Like, I'm just saying, she's been around longer than everybody else. So, yeah,
Maybe.
no, like, it really does become something that you guys do, I mean, and for a
Yeah.
long time with people. Like, the people
Yeah.
in your chair spend a lot of time throughout their whole lives with you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because you said that you've done it for 24 years? Yes. So 24 years, do you still have people, like, when you started that sit in your chair? Or?
I
Yeah, that's
since day one. And interesting that we're talking about like what people go through, you know, on our chair and stuff. We collaborated with La Piñon, and they have taught us. We're the first salon, or first actually ever, to start with them. It starts with us, and they sat here and taught us how to recognize abuse, any type of abuse, whether it's physical, mentally, like anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of our main things here is like, you know, we get to recognize it, and we get to tell them like, hey, you know what, let's go to the restroom, let's go to the back, let's talk about what just happened, or here's the number to La Piñon, reach out, because we can recognize stuff like that, you know. So that, I mean, I thought that was like a great thing that we all got to experience with La Piñon, you know,
Well,
as a
yeah.
hairdresser especially.
And that's amazing because, I mean, okay, I'll be honest, I never really thought like that would be so beneficial, but duh, like you guys really are hearing about so many things in people's lives.
Yeah.
Like that is an amazing thing that you guys can now recognize and kind of know how to support, and even have resources, because now you have that connection with La Piñon. Oh, that is really cool. I did not know that. That is really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew I loved you guys, but okay, is that why Tristan you be pushing? No, I'm just joking. Tristan be telling me to go therapy? No, I'm just joking.
We'll go together.
She
It's fine.
recognized the signs. No, but that is really, really cool. And so, again, you know, that's just one more, like, confirmation that you guys are more than just the chair.
Right.
Yeah. Have you guys, without getting messy, right? We don't want to have anybody's names up in a mix, but have you guys used that training? Like, have you had to, you know, talk to some of your clients and utilize that?
So not necessarily talk to a client about it, but we did have an incident one time. So we had a client, I'm not going to mention any names, of course, but we had a client, her and her daughter always come in here and get their hair done. And we picked up, me and another hairdresser kept on picking up, like, it's just kind of weird that the stuff that the mom would tell the little girl and what she would tell the mom, like, it was just so disturbing to us. And we're like, oh, you know, we're, as moms, we don't do that. Like, we don't, it was just, I don't know, but we picked up on a lot of the signs, and we always felt uncomfortable when they would leave. And one day we were sitting here and it just broke out on the news that the dad was molesting her the whole time. The mom knew it. Then we sat there and we were like, oh, that explains why the mom has this app for texting. Like, if the daughter said anything about dad, sex, love, anything, it would pop up on a text and she would get an alert. So and then she was homeschooled too, right? She was homeschooled, like all the red flags, and we picked up on it. We never said anything. But then once when we started talking about it here, we knew like something happened, like something was up. And once all that came out, it's like we just knew it. We picked up on it from the trainings that we had. But they never came back after that because obviously they had, you know, got busted and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but the fact that you had, I would assume they were a client for a while, you said, you know, and so having that training allowed you guys to really, like, you always were a little creeped out maybe, or like unsure, but the training really made you like, ding, like, this is something we need to,
and when we were going to reach out finally to say something, it had already blown up, and so we weren't able to say anything, but luckily it got, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. No, I mean, it's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate, but it's not surprising to me that, you know, people do share a lot of intimate things with you guys. Yeah. What do you guys think is like the number one, or like the top, you know, 5 things that, you know, you hear women struggling with, or like, you know, what's life looking like for women out there?
I think that for a lot that I've seen in my chair with clients that I've had is the media's role on women of what we're expected to look like, what a beauty standard is, or what is accepted from like their partners or whatever, and is, oh no, it's not okay because he doesn't like it, or social media tells me otherwise, or I'm not skinny enough, I don't look pretty enough. And so at the end of the day, getting to do our job and make them feel better, even if it's in that moment of their hair being styled and colored and the whole 9 yards, it's just that little bit of boost to give them that confidence that there is that inner beauty and outer beauty that they don't see in themselves that we do.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a big one, because I think that's one too that's like, it affects, I mean, young, middle, older,
Everybody.
like we all have that, whether it be body image, whether it be something, you know, that we don't like about ourselves, or because I know like my daughter and I talk about it a lot, right? Because social media it's fraud, right? Like,
Right.
you know, but it is a lot of our younger generations, that's what they've grown up with their whole life. So it is very easy for them to be like, that's the standard, or like, that's what I'm supposed to look like. And if my life doesn't have this and this, then I'm not successful, or I'm not,
Yeah.
I can't be happy, or, right? Like, mean, social media is great. Don't get me wrong. Hence, we're here. You know, but I do think that it has a big impact on those type of things.
Right? I think people feel like they're not allowed any bad days, you know? Whereas before you had a bad day, maybe nobody saw it. Hopefully you didn't run into anybody at the store or whatever. But now it's like somebody's probably going to see you, especially with our kids, right? Somebody's seeing them, somebody's recording them, somebody's posting it or talking about them. And there's no room or grace for that bad day. Yeah. I will say, though, some of them don't care, and I think that's the thing I'm picking up on that I found really cool is some of them, because they're so used to being in front of the camera, they're also used to being authentically themselves. Not all of them, but some of them, and you can see that in some of the kids where they just, it doesn't bother them, it doesn't faze them, they don't change, you know. Their camera turns on and they're on Snapchat or they're on whatever, but they don't change, they're the same. And I've noticed that in a lot of the kids around me is that they, I think the silver lining is they are learning how to show up as themselves, even in the noise, you know?
No,
We have a problem with it.
girl.
I think those of us that are older have a problem with it, you know? We're so self-conscious, but the kids are used to the camera. It's just, it might as well be the wall, you know? It doesn't make a big difference.
That is true. And I mean, I think society as a whole is so, girl, I'll be walking in the store and walking to someone's TikTok, right? They're just standing there filming. Like,
Yeah.
I get embarrassed even like be in the car taking a selfie and someone sees me, I'm like, put the camera down, right? Like,
Right.
like I was not just taking a picture of myself, you know, but no, like you're right. It really is more socially acceptable.
Yeah,
and
it's their culture.
Yeah.
It's just not ours.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think they got the best of that part, but then let's be honest, I feel like we got the best of, because I used to make some really poor decisions as a teenager.
Yes. Yes.
And there was no proof of
Yes.
said decisions.
Thank you, Jesus.
So like you said, I mean, they really are living in this world that
It's
like
very
their
different.
life can and usually is very broadcasted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have like any stories, of course, not getting messy with no names, but like where you've seen that be maybe a good thing, bad thing? I mean, like that you guys are seeing that? Like people share that with you?
Trying to think of a good example.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know with like our younger stylists, that's the one thing I think for us that have been this group right here, we've all been doing this 20 plus years, and it's fun to watch our younger stylists that are just out of school and they're the tripods and everything set up where we're that generation that we started social media. We started with the MySpace and all that stuff, but it wasn't like the authentic stuff. So now this Instagram of posting and doing, we have our younger kids, and half the time us older generation, we're trying to do TikToks and they're like, no, try it this way. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Where I thought I would ask my 20-year-old daughter to come help me out. I'm like, oh, I don't need you no more. I got a staff, I got coworkers who can help out. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah, no, for sure. I need tech advice. I asked my 5-year-old, shoot. Be like, baby, why's Mama Tablet doing this? You know, because it is what they do. I mean, and that's something to think about too, because let's be honest, you guys are all entrepreneurs, right? Like you have to put yourself out there. You have to build your clientele. You have to run your business. You do have your salon where you actually do have your main business, but in essence, everyone here has to have their business. You have to put yourself out there. And like you just said, Ms. Desiree, like that's changed a lot, from then to now. Do you guys find yourself like, because I know I do. Like even when I started this thing, I'm like, I gotta do what? I gotta put a name and a face on my social. I'm user 1 million. What you mean? But have you guys kind of seen that, and how have you adapted?
I think once you see the benefits of it, it's motivating to keep doing it, because that's just the new way to find clients. So before it was just word of mouth, but now it's word of mouth, and they're like, what's your Instagram? Word of mouth, and let me see your TikTok. They want to see the whole portfolio before they're coming in. They want to know if you've done someone's hair that looks like them, or that has the hair they want, or, whatever. Word of mouth is not enough anymore, So but once you see that moving and once you see it in effect, it's different. Then you're like, okay, you're just waiting to do something that you really like so you can put it out there.
Yeah, now that we have the young girls that had started with us, they're asking us like, well, how do you guys advertise, or what do you do to bring clientele in? And I'm like, girl, I used to like pass out flyers, cards,
Put a
like,
sign
go
outside.
to Herbalife shops or go next door to like the real estate agencies and just throw myself out there. That's what I would do. Now I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do here because it's totally different from when we first started.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Because, I mean, you guys have your clientele, like we said, you know, you guys have had
Right.
people coming to you for a really long time. So they're building it, you know. So, yeah, it's very different. It's very different. And I think, though, like you said, it's beneficial, and then it's hard because I also tell my daughter all the time, like, do you even know what life looks like without a screen in front of your face? Like, hello, I'm out here. Like, what's up, right? Because they constantly. I was laughing because she had her friends over for a sleepover, right? And they're all in her room, and I opened the door. It's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're all laying on the bed or in the little couch or whatever on their phones. And I'm all, so y'all just came over here to scroll TikTok.
Yeah, totally.
But that is.
We would watch MTV and they get on TikTok. It is what it is, you know?
It's true. No, but
BET,
yeah.
but yeah. Okay.
BET.
Gotta get all of that in there.
But yes, no, it is very different. And so it sounds though like I said, it's a good different though, because you guys
think
get to
so.
put yourself out in a bigger way.
Yeah. Well, and then we kind of have control over promoting what we like. You know, I might do 3 things in a day, but I'm going to post the one I want to do more of. So you can kind of control it a little bit. So then you end up with the clientele you really enjoy. You don't end up getting burnout. I think so. I feel like maybe right before I came here, actually, I was so burnt out. But I think social media helped me kind of shift my business into being more of what I wanted to do and what I enjoy doing. And it's been 20 years now almost. So there was like a little dip there where I just was kind of over it. And then when I came here and I started doing more fun stuff and I started promoting that fun stuff, then that's what comes back to you. Yeah. So I think in that sense, it's really, really beneficial.
Yeah. So you say fun stuff, right? So let's
Right.
talk about that a little bit, because you guys are artists. You are some of the most creative people I've ever met in my whole life. You know, I could really mess up a spreadsheet, y'all, but do not ask me to color anything. But then, in essence, that's you guys are that. Like, you guys really are artists. And so how has that changed, right? Because I know, like, when you used to do my hair all these crazy colors, like, that was not really normal.
It wasn't, yeah.
It wasn't. I remember, God, starting at Supercut Style America, and I wanted to play with the fashion colors. Like, my mom spent my teenage years saying, you have to have normal hair. And of course, not gonna lie, all of us do. We did the box colors. We played with what we got in our hands as a teenager. And so as soon as I was able to, I wanted to put the little peaks of the colors in the here and there. And I remember being in salons where they were like, you need to do what colors we have here. We don't carry that. And I'm like, the last time I checked, we were supposed to be the fashion setters, not the followers. We're not supposed to follow these trends. We're supposed to advance the trends. And if you want me to stop, I'm sorry, I'm not going to. I'm not going to put my control. You know, I love, just like Tristan, fashion colors. Give me the rainbow and I will have a blast. I like to have a client in my chair that just lets me go free for all and says, here's it up. I don't have a color that isn't, is like everything to me, because that held back on the early years of the career of being told, no, you can't do that. Blondes and browns and neutral colors is what we stick to. And it's just like, I don't want to. I want to jump out of that box, like, and have fun.
Yeah, no, I love that, because, okay, trendsetters. I have never met a boring hairstylist. Never in my life. Like, for you to say that, it is so true. Like, you guys always just are like, I mean, we were laughing because when I came in, I told Yvette I got dressed for them, you know, because you guys know how I like to dress. But I got dressed for you guys. But, like, I always come in, and even when you guys aren't dressed, like, you guys still are so stylish and just put together. Like, is that a freaking on the resume? Like, you have to, or what the hell?
I feel like I always have to have like my makeup and hair done, and whatever I wear is like, I can come in like athletic clothes or whatever, because I'm like, I'm not styling you, I'm doing your hair. So as long as my hair's done, I feel like my clients are like, okay, I can go to her. Because at least she's not, you know, styling my clothes or whatever. So
Yeah, because, I mean, you wouldn't go to someone who got ate up hair, right? Like, so I get that.
Right.
So it is something that you guys make sure that you do professionally, but like, so if I see you on the weekend, you still gonna look like that, or what? I'm putting your business out there. I'm curious because
Probably,
I've
yeah.
never seen you not look like that.
Don't be surprised you see me on a weekend. I got no makeup on or yesterday's makeup and a messy bun, and I'm at Walmart. We're not going pretty. You only catch me
Better
pretty.
about myself a little bit now.
You
Thank
catch me
you.
pretty if I'm right after work. If it's a weekend, it's a Sunday. Don't be surprised what you catch me in. That's the rule of thumb. I think for us, we all grew up with being told you walk out the door looking like you're ready to do hair every day, even if it is a Sunday. And now the salons have laid back. It's not the heels and an all black and dresses, and you can come in tattered jeans and shorts and tennis shoes. And for me, it took a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but it took me a little bit to see the younger generation coming in with like crop tops and sandals, and I'm like, oh no, that's not stylish. That's not salon approved. We cannot do that. Yeah. So now to get that more relaxed, where we can keep the face and the hair and still be casual and not, be a normal person and not look like we're going to the club or, you know what I mean, on business ventures.
Well, that's
all
how
the
they
time,
dress for the
corporate all
club
time.
too, actually, though. So
Oh yeah, that's changed.
that's changed too.
changed.
That's changed
I don't
as
go
well.
nowhere ever. I went out like a couple months ago and showed up, with my heels and my whatever. I was like,
It's not the way.
I did not get the sneaker memo.
Yeah.
If I would have known, your girl loves a
Yeah.
fresh pair of sneaks, but I was over there with my feet hurting. I'm like, but
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Go. Like,
Yeah.
I was excited. I was like, let me go get my dang gym bag. I got some sneakers in there. Like, I was, but it is true. Like, style and all of that doesn't necessarily, it's not the same as it used to be, right?
Right.
It's like it was like,
Yeah.
I would have never in my life shown up at the club in a pair of sneaks. Like,
Ever.
it was not what we did back then. And now I'm loving it. Shoot, I might start going out more.
She's like, I can dance all night.
I could wear my Adam Sandler and still go to the gym. Shoot. Yes.
Yeah.
And so
It's
a
different.
lot has changed.
Yeah.
A lot has changed. So that's why we'll kind of go back to that question of like, what is the world out there like for women right now? What are women sharing in your chair?
It depends on the age.
Yeah.
Really? I think the women our age are just tired. Really? Really, most of it is we are tired. They need something easy, something that looks good, something they come in and sit down, you put your hands on their shoulder, and they're just like, you're like, okay.
Something low maintenance for sure.
Mm-hmm. The mom on the go. Something that looks cute, you can throw it as a messy bun and you're ready to go to the PTA meeting.
PTA to work, to the store, out, like, just, everyone's so busy.
Yeah.
Everyone is so busy.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because we also are probably in that category.
Yes.
Of we're a little tired, we're a little
We're
busy.
a little tired. Yeah, a little tired, a lot of busy.
Why the hell are we so tired and busy? Like, why do I feel like I get home and I don't know what happened, but nothing on the to-do list got done yet? I'm home at 9 p.m. and I left at 7.
Yeah.
Like, how? Why? Why do you, what is
These
going
kids.
on?
These kids. I don't know. I know that's what's going on for me. Drop the kids off, run home, get ready, drop the kids off, come here, work, go pick up the kids. We're just going. We're always going.
I think as a mom, our job's never over. Like whether you have a job or you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't stop. So you go to work, you deal with all the people, and then you get home. You still gotta cook, clean, make sure the kids do their not laundry, their homework and stuff, and then and then you still got to be a housewife on top of that. And I don't think like the guys have it as bad as we do. Yes, they have a hard job more than what we do, a job, a real job, but they don't have to be a housewives
We're
and
on
oh,
schedule 24/7.
Yeah, I feel like their jobs are like 9 to 5 and I'm done.
and ours don't
And ours
stop.
don't stop.
And I think that's why we're so tired. And we get to a point in life that we're like, okay, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore by myself.
It's
Well, because
yeah.
like back then, right? It was like the women stayed home, the men worked, and then now it's like the women we taking
Yeah.
over some industries. We ready? We
Yes.
here being bosses, but yet I'm still responsible for all this shit too. Like, hold on.
Yes.
Time like how our moms did it, you know what I mean? We all, I'm sure, played sports or did our activities, and they were the generation that kind of started getting into the working and not being the stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, man, I think back about it with the kids. I'm like, how did you do that? Get us here and fro, and then you still maintain to clean the house and do the dishes and have that energy to do it before we went to bed. I look at my house and I get dinner done, and I'm like, do I really want to do that, or do I want to fight my children to make them do it because I'm too tired? I'm just ready to sit and not look at anything else.
No, I love that you mentioned that, because back then I would imagine, right, there was like, no, it was so scrutinized if like you fed your kids through a drive-through, or someone showed up to your house and it was a mess. Girl, now I'm like, oh, we live here. Like, come on in, but excuse the mess because we live here, right? Like, I'm not like knowing how my mom was, like friggin' OCD,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not like that, and it is more acceptable, I guess, now. Like, it's more
Yeah.
common. It's more, yet, like, I mean, people don't get me wrong, like,
There's a limit.
I'll still be trying to clean up before people come over, it ain't like that. But, but it is a little different, and like I said, I mean, I hate to admit it, but the elite meals, shout out elite meals, they be cooking dinner a lot, but I do have, because it's a lot.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm a single mama. I don't
Yeah.
know everyone's status. Single mama.
Renee. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have a spouse. Yeah. So I know that, like, it's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot, and I have a good co-parenting relationship with my son's dad. So that helps.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that helps. But I know that, like, it's just always on the go. Right. And I remember being busy as a kid, like, but I don't remember being this busy.
Yeah.
Like, my son got a crazier schedule than I do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So what else? What else are women going through? So women our age are tired.
They're
What about them
tired.
young girls? What, are they tired? Are they tired? They better not be tired.
I don't know with them. They just got all the energy for days. But I'm like, you can pass some back this way. I don't think I was that energetic at that age. I don't know. To have all the time, especially like the social media, like they have all the ins and outs of what it is, and they don't even look tired. I'm like, I just don't go to work and come home.
But you think that's fake? I'm sorry, I'm gonna call bullshit. I think half that shit's fake. You tired. Don't lie. Like, you posted the one and only video that you looked like you weren't tired in. Like, I'm convinced. Because, I don't know if that's just how I make myself feel better. But, like, I'm convinced. I'm like, there is no way. Like, there is no way you look, like, so refreshed at 5 p.m. cooking that meal, ma'am. Like, you cook that when your kids were at school at 12
If they
o'clock,
have
your
kids.
dinner. Right? Like,
A lot of them aren't having kids, which is
That
interesting.
part.
That's an interesting topic. It's very different.
part.
That too. A lot of them are just opting out of that. I know my daughter's like, she doesn't want kids, and she never has.
yeah.
And I know a lot of young women like that who
Yeah.
just
I remember
they just don't
people
want it.
used to talk crap to me because when I was younger, I was like, I'm not having kids. Love my
Yeah.
kids. Love you guys. But I really didn't want none.
Yeah.
And that was extreme. Like, people used to, like,
Yeah,
look
like
at
they
me
get
like,
personally
really
offended
ugly.
for some
Yeah.
reason, and it's
And
really
now it's the
funny.
norm.
Yeah.
Or they're having children much later in life.
Right.
Which, I'll be honest, like, okay, so I had my first baby when I was 22, and my second baby when I was 32. God got a funny sense of humor. But
Yeah,
I
same.
needed him, love him, But I was a different mama at 22 than 32, right?
Right.
And my energy level was extremely
part.
different.
Yeah.
So, like, I have people that I know, like some friends that, they're having babies at 40. God bless their soul. I don't know how. I'm
Yeah.
38 now, and I think like I would with a
Yeah.
newborn. Oh,
Sounds very exhausting.
it sounds exhausting. Like I'd be looking at these people bringing their babies. I'm like, oh man, I let everyone else have the babies, and I just take care of them.
Right.
I get the
Yeah.
perks. I got the perks of having
Be
all
the
the babies
auntie.
and never having to take them home.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, that is definitely a big thing. Is a lot of women are not having children.
They're
or-
opting out of the men and the babies and the marriage and it's just a different world,
yeah.
I think, for them.
I've been hearing more, like, people going through divorces and stuff like that. Like, I hear in my chair, like, oh, like, if, I don't want to move on after this. Like, once I'm done with my divorce, like, I'm not moving on. Like, I'm happy alone. I feel like a lot of women are finding peace in, like, themselves rather than having to deal with somebody else.
I'm not thinking that I have to be a wife. I have to be this. I need to find the next and be that whole package.
It's like, it's peaceful here without having to deal with somebody else's drama or, whatever else.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, no. And you're right. I hear that a lot too about, women just trying to like focus on ourselves. And do you think that's because we've never been allowed to?
Yeah.
And it's now our time for a lot of the women, and they're showing a lot of us older women that it's okay to be with yourself, just you. You don't have to have the whole thing, or even like for myself being a divorcee, like I took a while to realize that it was okay to just be me and my kid. Like we were fine, just the two of us. We didn't need that extra nonsense, and we were fine with it. You know what I mean? I welcome it if it's there, but it's not anything that felt like it was forced that it needed to be because I was a mom. I couldn't be a mom without having a husband or somebody to be there with me to take care of my kid. It was
Well,
okay.
and that was always the question, right? You see people, you see family members. Are you dating anybody? Are you going to have kids? Are you, well, for me, it was a little different because I had Imani when I was 16. So when I got older and had more children, then people were like, are you going to get your tubes tied? Are you going to, but it's just everyone's so invested in if you're dating someone, if you're married to them, if you're going to have kids, if you're not going to have kids, if it's such a weird obsession with what we're going to do with our bodies. And I think a lot of us find relief in just entertaining all of the other areas of our lives.
Yeah.
Like we are so many other things than a wife and a mother. Even those are great things. We are so many other things,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So and I think that, as you said, the younger girls, but see, I'll be honest though, because I feel like they going way too far right with it, and we were way too far left with it. Like there's no middle ground.
There's no middle
'Cause
ground.
let's be honest. I think it's human nature to want to be loved, to find a person, like I genuinely do. I think that like we want that.
Yeah.
But then I think like, so their generation,
At
they
what
saw all
cost?
of us and they're like,
Yeah.
hell no, we are not going.
We're not doing what they did.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So then they ran the other way.
Yes.
And so now like the dating world is so damaged and so broken
It's
and
weird.
so, like, people are like, plenty of fish in the sea. No, it's like a bucket, like a
Yeah.
pond. Like, when you take a bath and there's like a little bit of water in the left over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much we got going
Some
on.
crusty fish in there.
Yes. Because I think that now it's all about, oh, that's a red flag, I'm out of here. Right? When we used to stay until the wheels done fell off.
That part, I
We
did
tried to
that.
replace them 10 times. We right? Like we
Yes.
as women were like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't speak for you. I know I was, but now this generation of girls, like they see this little baby red flag and they're out.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's
Yeah.
like they went way that way, we were way this way. And it makes me a little sad because I'm like, I know why we now are so focused on ourselves and, because
Yeah.
we never were allowed to. But I also know why they are so hyper independent that
Yeah.
they're like afraid to attach themselves to like a relationship or love or, because it's like, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think like our generation, we were expected to work it out, do everything, no matter what. You're tired, it doesn't matter. You need to do it. Like, you need to be a mom, you need to be a wife, you need to be whatever it is, right? And the girls now, they're not like that anymore, you know. I mean, when I had my kids, I was a kid myself, and we grew up together, you know. And
Yep.
now my kids are 25 and 20.
Yeah.
And 20.
But
And
she looks at me
they
because our
don't
kids
have
the same
kids.
age.
They don't have kids yet. You know, my 25-year-old doesn't have kids yet, and I think it's just because they saw like what they saw at home. Like, damn, my mom did everything, or they grew up. You know, I think that's what it is. They just don't want to
They wanna
go through what
enjoy
their
life.
parents had to go through. And I think we're at that age now that we're like, it's time to focus on myself. Like, I'm done focusing on my kids, the husband, the house. I need to focus on me, and nobody's liking that anymore. They're not liking that we want to take care of ourselves, you know? But we have to at some point.
It is, and it's crazy. I had a conversation actually not that long ago with a client that it's kind of like become that norm now that nobody, like you said, they see the small red flags and just jump ship. Where like the older generations, even older than us, like our grandparents, you know what I mean? They've been together for 50, 60 years. And now you hear, oh, we've been married for 65 years. And you're like, okay, cool. Like that's what's expected of your generation, where it's almost like an accomplishment now. I see, like even my client was saying, that these younger generations, you don't hear them making the distance of a 5, 10. We've done a decade, we've done two decades, because everyone's like, okay, cool, that's a problem. I don't want to help. I don't want to communicate to fix what we need to do to grow. But I want to
But
go.
there's also a thing that I didn't think about till now, but there are a lot of women who have sat in my chair in their 70s and their 80s whose husbands have passed and have shared the guilt they feel that they are relieved. And they did stick it out. They worked. They fixed what was broken. But a lot of them fixed that at a sacrifice to themselves, to their own wants, to their own needs. And the amount of times I've heard that is wild. And I think that that's hard, you know, because they were the people teaching us to make things work. And then once they're finally allowed to, in a space where someone's not judging them and I'm not in their family and it doesn't affect me emotionally to hear it, they say, oh, I'm so relieved. I was so tired and it took so much from me, and I took care of him for so long and I just am exhausted, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's the other side of that story, you know? Not for all of them, not for everyone, but
some-
I hear it a lot.
You're really right, because I do have a lot of ladies sitting here, older ladies, that they're still married and they're still with them, and they're like, the one thing I regret is I should have left him, but I stuck it through, and I'm just so unhappy. And I'm like, but why are you still with him? Because it's too late now. We're in Social Security, you know. We're just like, why? Just stay with what you know. And it's like, but why be so miserable staying for so long? And
Yeah.
So I have a really probably not so popular opinion about dating. Go figure.
But no,
Love
like,
it.
so I genuinely believe that there is not always a forever person for you,
I
right?
believe
Because
that too.
I believe that we grow into a lot of different versions of ourselves throughout
Yes.
our lives, right?
Yeah.
So the person that I loved and that would have loved me when I was in my early 20s it's probably not going to be the same person that
Right.
I would love or would love me in my 30s or now. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, so I believe that some people are able to do that. They're able to continuously fall in love with each other as they're growing and as they're, you know, changing in this life, and that's beautiful,
Yeah.
and I love that. But I'm a firm believer that that's really unlikely for
Yeah.
most of us, right? Like, because
I believe that
I
too.
look back and I'm like, I dated that guy. Like, what was wrong with me? You know? But then at
Yeah.
that time, though, I was very happy. Like, it was somebody that I really loved and I loved being around. And,
Yeah.
you know, but that person would have never would look at the people I date now like, what the heck? Right? Like,
Yeah.
so I believe that you genuinely change so much in your life as you grow and you live this life
Yeah.
that it's unlikely that you're going to continue to fall in love with the same version of them, and they're going to continue to fall in love with the same version of
Right.
you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes me feel a little better.
Because I've said it a few times and people look at me like, okay, she gonna be single her whole life. Yes, maybe, but
Maybe so.
Well, like you said, it's the rare thing to see that you can find somebody who loves you through it. You know, I would have to say for myself, I definitely have been blessed to be that type of person, to have somebody who I've loved through it all. You know, we dated when I was 18 and he was 23. I was a pregnant single mom, you know what I mean? My boyfriend at the time walked out on me, and he stepped up and stepped in, and we grew at that moment where we were both in bad spots, but we grew together. We stepped away from each other, and we were able to now come back 20 years later and have a better version of ourselves to continue to love that. So it's very, like you said, it's very rare that you do that. And I definitely say I have been blessed, but I think we both had to go through our marriages and divorces and our bad and grow from what we went through from when we first loved.
Part, because you guys did give each other a chance to go live some life. So let me ask you this: if you would have forced it and stayed together, you think you guys still would be in love together today?
I don't know. We've always had that love for each other, but I definitely feel like the versions of ourselves, because we did. We had our arguments, we stayed friends, and there was times where I was like, this version of you, I'm not a fan of. And I'm sure there was versions of me that wasn't there as I grew as a person and as a mom and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like there was always that appreciation because he stepped up and took care of a child that he didn't have to. So there was always that gratitude there. But I definitely think if we stayed as we were, probably would have ended part of the divorce rate of saying, yeah, that wasn't the person I wanted to be with.
Yeah. So sometimes the best thing you can do for each other is step away, and allow each other to, experience a different version that you've become and do that. And then maybe, like in your case, you guys found your way back to each other, and now you guys have lifed your life and, find yourself very happy together. Like, I mean, I think that's, I don't know, like I said, I think just part of the evolving, women, men too, because
Yeah.
you know what I noticed too?
so I have a lot of young men hit me up.
Right? And I'm like, okay, baby, no, we're okay. But I will tell you this, some of them are more emotionally mature and like attentive and understanding of women
Yeah.
than these grown men ever have been. And so, I mean, I'm a little torn, because I'm at the age where I could date the son or the dad, so I'm like, I don't know, but I do find it's not just women, right, that
Right.
things have changed for,
Yeah.
and I'm a boy mom, so I always got to make sure
Exactly.
we talk about them boys too,
Yeah.
because I'm teaching my son very differently than I think, like my cousins and everything were taught when I was younger about like
Right.
being a man. Right? Like when I tell my son, like, to be a good man, baby, you're gonna have to understand women. To be a good man, you're gonna have to be able to communicate. When my son cries now, I don't just tell him to man up.
Right.
Right? Like I let him, because we are really messed up, let's be honest.
Yeah.
We are so mad at men that they can't communicate to us. They can't,
Yeah.
they can't tell us how they're feeling. But yet then we're like, oh, be a man. Be a man. Like, man, you messed up. And like I said, I am a
Yeah.
boy mom. So like
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like these poor men. I mean, that we really,
It's confusing
society
for them
and-
too.
Yeah, it is really tough out there for them too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like when it comes to that part. And so I think finding a good balance now with, being able to be a vulnerable woman and a vulnerable man, but also being a very independent, strong woman and an independent, strong man. Like
Yeah.
it should be okay to be all the things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unpopular opinion? I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, I don't. I totally agree. I
agree.
think it is okay. I'm a girl mom. Like these guys get to be a girl and boy mom. Like I am strictly girl mom, but I see it even with my partner, and I'm like, it's okay to tell me how you feel. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to share and cry. You don't have to worry about being the man, and I've got to be strong and tough for you and let you be the woman who cries and weeps. like we can do it together. So it's like it is that fine line of teaching our guys that yes, you need to be there to support your family and be that manly man, but it's okay to show the emotion and communicate and talk and express so that it's not a turmoil of butting heads of nobody's talking.
Yeah. Being a man, doesn't mean that it's weak to tell me how you feel. Right. But that really was the standard back then. I mean, it really was.
It was
like
for a long time.
For the long, and I'll be honest, still sometimes is like for a lot of households. Like I see a lot of it, like, and then it's crazy though to me too, because now we have it where we're telling our men to be men, and to man up and to not be crying and to not, but now we're also telling our women, but I'm tougher on my daughter because she needs to be strong and she needs to be this and she has to, be able to make it in this world as an independent woman and all these things. It's like, man, where's the
There's
line?
no winning.
Yeah. Like, so then I'll ask you this, because again, you guys have the opportunity where, we're going to wrap this up, because I know, again, I say this on every episode, but it's true. We could talk for hours.
Yeah.
But as we wrap this up, like, what do you guys think would be the one thing that you would tell a woman in your chair or each other even, that now that you wish you knew then?
Funny, it came up earlier when I was talking to August. Hi, August. It's okay to show up ugly. It's okay to show up as not the best version of yourself. It's okay to show up unpolished and not having all the answers. You just have to show up for yourself. And I think I'm telling myself that every day. So I think that's the most important message for me currently to share with the ladies in my chair.
Yeah, I love that. Just showing up.
And you say show up ugly, or don't put makeup on, whatever. And the funny thing is, when I usually do that and I go out and about, that's when I get hit on. And I'm like, are you guys crazy? I look horrible.
So pretty with no makeup on.
Well, thank you.
You can roll out of bed.
Thank you. But I'm like, I look horrible. Why are they doing this? Like, what? You don't see me like dressed up. No, they're like, oh, she looks cute or whatever. I'm like, or I'll just get like even women too. Oh, you look so pretty. I'm like, and I'm thinking I feel like the worst today. But that's what I'm saying with you too. Like, you think you feel like, oh, I'm so ugly today, and outside we're like, oh my God, Tristan, you look so beautiful today. It's like, what?
Yeah, we just have to.
We had to. Yeah.
I think just being your authentic self and just knowing at the end of the day, no matter what, like a quote I saw the other day is you could have the beauty on the outside, but if you have the ugliness on the inside of the soul, that's what portrays more than what the outer looks are. And just having, I think for women, just having more confidence in themselves to know that I don't have to be full face makeup, hair done, and reminding yourself that I'm beautiful no matter what, especially when you're so caring and giving, and just to remind yourself not to beat yourself up that, okay, I didn't do this today, that I'm not on top. Like, be your authentic self, show yourself that you are there every day, and have those affirmations for yourself that you are just as important as anybody else in that world.
Yeah, I feel like we're just like our own critic, and we're our worst critic. And we need to stop doing that. That's our number one thing, because like I said, in the outside, we see different. And there's a lot of times like, oh my God, I'm so fat. I have cellulite. I have this. I have that. I have a pouch. And there goes some man. It's like, oh my God, I'm in love with everything about you. What are you talking about? I'm gained weight. No, I love it. And we don't see it because we're criticizing ourselves so bad, and we need to stop that. We need to be comfortable in our own skin.
I would just say just to be your authentic self, because I think when you're your authentic self, that you just like catch the right personality for you from somebody else. So that's just what I would say.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I agree. Right, like when you show up as you attract who's supposed to be there.
Right.
And when you don't, you often attract the people that end up being the ones that weren't supposed to be there. And so, no, I love that. And I love that we can still, as Tristan said, be telling ourselves all of these things to this day. like
Yeah.
you said, I go out and I feel like I look horrible. I'm like sitting there talking crap about like the way that I look, and people are complimenting me. And so I think it's something that we as women just have to constantly remind ourselves. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is when we do it, we unintentionally give other people the confidence to do it too.
Yeah.
And so, thank you guys so much. Like I said, I love having conversations with you guys. I love being, Tristan's like, didn't you just cut my girl? Just, give her roots done. It's all right. I need some hair therapy.
Right.
I need some hair therapy. But
Like,
no.
just pet me. Just touch my
yes.
hair.
Come on, do you guys just sit there and brush my hair? Like, is that a
Yeah,
thing?
sure. Yeah, come on in.
I mean, now I know we're closing up and stuff, but as a hairdresser, a lot of our clients don't realize what we go through while they're sitting in the chair, spilling everything, their emotions, everything. I know these few years, every single one of us have gone through so much here. And we have, I mean, me personally, all the girls here have helped me out through so much. And I don't think they realize how much they helped me to stay sane and not go crazy. And clients don't realize that, but they sit here and they talk and they tell us, and we have to just have our composure like nothing is going on in our lives. And so we have to fix them, not only their beauty in the outside, but the beauty in the inside, because we help them out too. And there's those clients that we do have that just treat us like horrible, and they have no clue what we're going through, and they're like, they can tell us like the worst thing ever, and we'll just smile. I mean, we live off of the karma name. We like to give good karma. And even if they're sitting there bashing us, we're still going to smile on their face and let them go, And I just wanted to say that, I just thank the girls, from every single girl that has worked here. Like, we have gone through so much, and they have made me go through stuff like easily than what I thought I would have. Like, I think without the girls, it would have been harder for me.
And I do also think off of what she said is we do have also those clients that they don't know how much that they've become family to us, that they reach and know how our kids are, and they ask that. And it's that moment where we get to take off from being the therapist, and they become our therapist. And how's the family, and how are you doing? How's this? And we do are fortunate to have some of those clients that are our therapists at the end of the day when they're in our chair, which is kind of that little, whirl around back kind of flip, you don't see every day.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, next time you have one of those, make sure you book me. I'll be happy. I'll be happy to tell them what I think about that. No, but yeah, I love that because, like I said, I think that each of you have become somebody that I really look forward to coming here and hearing from and talking to. And so, thank you from the client side of the chair. For just being so amazing and, just, I don't know, it's being a place that allows women to come and feel seen and heard, and also being that for each other when you got little assholes in your chair, apparently.
Yeah.
Because sisterhood is powerful. It's a really big thing. It's one of the reasons why we're doing the podcast, right? It's because allowing a lot of strong, amazing women to authentically show up as themselves, share, be vulnerable, and create a space like that allows for everyone else too. So thank you guys so much. And thank you for tuning in and for listening to our chisme throughout the podcast. But no, if this resonated with you, or you know a woman that it would, please invite them into our space and share, like, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.